1 second, everybody.
We good? Okay, it's time. We're here at Pine Ridge Clubhouse located at 4801 Lakeside Club Boulevard. And we're gonna start our association board meeting. Before we start, I'd like everybody to stand and recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everybody. Ann, would you please call the roll?
Buck Tolles,
Here.
Tom Freeman,
Here.
Scott Harris,
Absent.
Bill England,
Here.
John Moe,
Here.
Larry Blaze.
Absent.
Was the meeting properly noted?
Yes, it was.
Okay, do I have a motion to read the previous minute meeting? Want to waive those?
I'll make a motion to waive the reading of the previous meeting minutes.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Home tonight.
Eric, do we have anybody signed up?
You're getting your exercise.
Well, if we had any late people coming in, I wanted to give them a chance.
Yeah, blame it on them.
You're turning red, Eric.
Pretty lame. Gonna have to come up with better excuses.
Sometimes you have a late arriver coming.
Sure, we'll go with that.
First one on.
Skip. Oh,
Oh, no. Yeah.
Skip my father. Your mother's called. Yeah. I think it's only fair. You let me up here when I have an idea. You let me up here when I complain about this Mama Luke. I'm involved with other neighborhoods and I have to tip my hat to you. You got it clean. You have a landscaping changeover. You had the hurricane. I just gotta say you did a good job. Thank you.
How much you paid, Rick?
Lorraine, is it social club stuff?
Yes.
Okay, so we're gonna do that during the committee.
Okay, that's great. I wasn't sure.
Rosemary.
Rosemary Priori.
Oh,
I don't know if I can reach it. Hi, I'm Rosemary. I live at 4730. I have a question on behalf of myself and some other people in villas who have grass inside their gate. My lawn was cut for the first time in a month. When I first moved in, it was cut regularly, starting about 6-8 months ago. So this isn't a hurricane thing. It became hit and miss. The last time it got cut, it was because I basically mugged one of the guys and dragged him over to my front and said, cut, which he understood. And I just like to know if there's some, and I know some other people got it cut from, I know some other people got it cut yesterday too, or Monday rather, but some people didn't. And I wondered if there's some way we can make sure they have an adequate list of the people who have lawns inside their gate?
So I started to touch on it last meeting because I didn't really have all the information, but kind of concurrent with the hurricane, as luckily as that is, Avant-Yard was acquired by another company called Down to Earth. Down to Earth is a much larger company. They're in multiple states. I'm going to talk about it a little bit more when we get into the manager's report, but I've had some conversations with them, very strong ones yesterday, and I have a feeling we're going to see everything.
Okay, because it was going up way before the hurricane. It was
Yeah.
like 6, 8 months.
Yeah,
And
no,
my poor dog was only this tall, and the grass was that tall. I mean, it just was a pain in the neck. And I have just one other quick question. I see that you're talking about the package of the budget today. Is there a time when we actually go over the budget? I mean, really go over the budget? I mean, I'm used to having budgets presented.
well, I'm going to go over some of the reasons why
Okay.
what's happening is happening. But you have the month until next meeting to go over it. And if you have any questions, you can come down and see me, or
Okay.
Scott's not here, but Shannon's been on with a lot of people that know the budget.
Okay, I'll do that. Thank you.
All right.
Barb, come on up.
My name is Barbara Jacks. I live at 9540 Green Cypress Lane, apartment 16. Did you miss me? I haven't been to the last 2 meetings. That's why I haven't spoken. Thank God, right? But just a couple of things. And this has been a bone of contention of mine since I moved here. I realize that during the summer months, there's fewer people here, but it seems like our amenities tend to suffer. I know for a fact that in July, we ripped up the bocce court and nothing has progressed with it. I know you're gonna talk about it later on, but I just don't understand why things can't continue on when the snowbirds go back up north. We had quite a number of people that participated this summer, not only in bocce, but also in shuffleboard and things. And, you know, I realized the storm, Bruce is spread out real thin. So I realized some of that stuff just can't happen right now.
So, do you mind if I touch on it?
Go ahead.
So this is not a Bruce being spread thin issue or anything like that. You were the one that requested the bocce ball be changed, and rightfully so. But this is a big organization with a lot of moving parts, and 500 units, almost 500 units, meaning almost 1,000 people here at any given time could be. Nothing moves fast. Nothing is snap our fingers and get it done. And then with a hurricane on top of it, that changes things also. What I will tell you is ripping up that carpet was one part of it. Taking up the glue underneath the carpet, that was a whole other part. To say nothing has happened, nothing has happened since the hurricane, but to say nothing has happened, we were ripping that up and we were moving right along.
Well, I did make the suggestion for that solution and it did not go over well. You could go to Home Depot and rent a concrete sander and have that done in no time flat.
Have you ever used one of those tools?
I have never used one, but I'm sure you, there are people that have.
Yeah, we're not gonna put one of those up there. They're dangerous, they're very dangerous.
We did go and rent a power tool for taking the adhesive off and cleaning that up. And we'll talk more about the bocce ball court in a few minutes.
And the last thing is this, I know that we've hired a new landscaping company.
We have not.
What was the company?
The landscaping company was acquired by another company,
Oh, okay.
so it's an
So it's a
acquisition.
new group, but they're not doing a good job at all, over by us at least.
I don't
There's,
know if you heard what I just said to Rosemary,
yes,
that applies to what you're saying as well.
okay, because there's things not being trimmed at all and overgrown.
Yes,
Okay, thank you.
I think that's it. I know Eric has quite a few more comments regarding the landscaping crew and the condition and the quality of the work that we're receiving from them. As far as my president's report, we don't have a whole lot here to discuss that's new. We have a lot of stuff going on, and we're gonna have probably a lengthy discussion about the hurricane progress and where we stand right now, because I know there's a lot of folks here that are interested in that for one reason or another. So we're gonna move on, and Eric's gonna present his manager's report.
So some of this stuff may be redundant, and we may cover some of it that's on the agenda here. We may have to do it again, but I wanted to start with an update on the roofing. So our insurance adjuster, a field adjuster, who works for a third party but is hired by the insurance company, has been doing an assessment of all the buildings and getting on every single roof. I spoke to him last night around 7 o'clock at night. They're working hard. He said he has about 30 more to go, and he probably won't have a report back to us until after Thanksgiving. But that's where that's in. Depending on what he reports back, the board will have to decide what they're going to do based on that. As far as interior damage, we are working on an inventory of interior damage, because that's another big part of it, and we're going to discover a lot more as people get back. There's wind-driven rain, that gets water into places that you would never know. Water can get into a spot in your house, and you may not, it may not show for several days, until it gets to the point where it's going to show. So some of the shingle repair started on the villas, and a couple of the condos. We're working on getting the fascia and soffit material. That's, I guess, been a difficulty, but basically right now I want them out here and get all those ridge vents covered. I think that's the no-brainer part of the job, and they should just come out here and do that right away. So I had conversations with them yesterday, today, going to happen again tomorrow, and we're going to put the pressure on and get them out here and at least try to get those covered, and then the areas with larger sections of shingles, they can work on that too. I think they were doing it the proper way, like the ones that looked like the most significant damage going there first, but the most number of units we can correct would be to get on top of those big buildings and finish the ridge vent. So that's where we're going to go next. And frankly, I'd like to have that ridge vent on before Thanksgiving. I mean, I don't see any reason why they can't, as long as we have the stuff. Work orders. I know many of you have put in work orders regarding the hurricane damage, and almost none of it has probably been addressed yet, especially if it's interior. We're going to be creating that inventory. I have to review it with the insurance adjuster and everything. It's a process. I went to a meeting with an attorney and an insurance agent and all the big wigs in town, and they said to communicate to your people that it's going to be a minimum 90-day process. And I didn't really like it when I heard that. To me, that's too long, but realistically, I mean, if you're going from the storm, we're already 45 days away. We did have roofers here, though, working and putting shingles on in less than a month, and I don't think many communities have that. So the work orders, just you're not being ignored if you think that we haven't been to you to take care of your work order. If it's storm related, we just have to know what we're doing and come up with a plan and have an inventory, and it's going to be a difficult, long job, but we've done it before and we're going to do it again. And my goal and the direction that I've been given from the board is that we want everything repaired in a first-class quality manner. We're not trying to rig things up or put Band-Aids. If there is a Band-Aid, if it's a temporary repair, it is temporary and it does get repaired fully. And that's one of the things that I'm I've made clear with the insurance adjuster that while we've made some repairs, like the perimeter fencing, especially along Sailview, I think that's pretty critical for security. John would probably agree with that. You know, I don't know the people who live over there, but it's a lower income area and times are tough and if they've got a free pass into here, that's not great. So we've been working on putting that back up, but that's more of a temporary repair because it's not perfect like we had it before, you know? But just bear with us, you know, we're order of importance and the inside stuff, we really have to work with this insurance adjuster and see how that's gonna go. And if he's gonna work with us, that would be a great thing, and we can not have a prolonged dispute over any of this. The other good thing is the association is financially in a very strong position, so if there are things that need to be done and money needs to be outlaid, we do have it saved up from prior years when we've been under budget, so we could use some of that for that. And we also have a small reserve, I think of 50,000 that could be used towards insurance deductibles. But it's gonna take some time, bear with us. I know that's not what you wanna hear, it wouldn't be what I wanna hear, but I'm focused on getting everything corrected as fast as we can and as best as we can, so I want you to know that. Garbage pickup, we're gonna go ahead and increase that to twice a week since we have more people coming down. And it should be Mondays and Thursdays. They're gonna confirm that with me tomorrow. The bulk garbage area. River Trail bulk garbage area, yeah. I knew that, I heard on the news they were opening up old landfills, but I didn't know we had one here. So we have a little problem there in the sense of they will not, I went to the main boss of Waste Pro and so I said, I'll give you $100,000 to come and get this stuff right now, you're gonna tell me no. And he said, like, that's what my boss is telling me. So they're not gonna do it. So we're gonna have to go to a plan B, and that's gonna be a junk removal service probably that comes and takes it and dumps it. And or we can do it ourselves. I don't know what's going to be more cost effective to pay our guys or to because it also the opportunity cost. You lose the guys working on what they're supposed to be working.
Yeah, I think we'll have to get somebody in
Yeah.
on that.
Yeah, just
Nobody wants to look at it.
yeah. So we want to get that stuff out of here, and then I think I'm going to come to the board for some advice is whether or not that area should be closed to new trash until the such a time that we can have our pickup happen again, or you know, make an arrangement where we have a regular pickup that we're paying for, but it's going to be, you know, again above and beyond and everything going on. So I would say
You want a comment on that?
yeah.
If you close it, they'll put it in the bin.
Please.
I think we need to just let the residents do as they have been doing, and when it gets to the point and till it's picked up, we pay for bulk pickup, that's all. What would a resident do with the refrigerator or, you know?
Well, you could pay $20 if they take it. You know,
Well, if they would take it for that, I don't know, that's my opinion, it's just.
now.
Yeah, and in fact, they probably won't pick up the white appliance, like they won't pick up appliances, the trash company.
A lot of
So
stuff
we
you
have
have
to
in your
have an
house
arrangement with
that
another
you
guy.
wanna get rid of, that nobody can pick up.
There is a major problem in this county with trash right now because of the hurricane. And I've been to those sites, and Lover's Key, we're talking about a 50-acre trash pile that's 40 feet high. The white goods are separated into a separate pile because those are hazardous items. A refrigerator and air conditioner or items like that are hazardous and they cost more money. I paid $40 maybe on that side of it, but I have no idea what we're gonna have to pay Eric's gonna have to pay somebody because anybody with a trailer or a truck is out there picking up these white goods and getting your tax dollars to do it, and they're getting paid pretty good. So this is a problem right now, trash.
You know, we lined up all the debris for FEMA out in the berm along 75, and they were actually very pleased with that because they were able to pick it up in a day and a half instead of probably a week and 2 weeks of trucks in here. I don't know.
We put that out there.
That would be a
we'll
good,
arrested.
I was thinking that would be a good bulk trash area.
I
But,
would-
but that, we're not doing that. So we're gonna look into removing it and then go from there.
And we'll take questions later.
I think if the cost is reasonable enough, then we continue, like Ann suggested. I think if it's super costly, then we have a decision to make. I'll continue on. So, yeah, that bulk trash area, we've got to do something about that. The landscaping, so, what happened with the landscaping is exactly this. I got a call from Judy Cisco, who is the wife of Larry Cisco, who was the owner of Avant Yard, who let me know that the company was being acquired by Down to Earth. And that she's still involved, and that normally when you acquire a business, you have to stay involved. So that way, the person knows they're not buying a bad business, you know. She presented it very well. She said they have much more resources, it's a much larger company, they can do this, they can do that. And I said, okay, you know, congratulations on selling the company, and that's that. So she said, everything will stay the same, nothing will change. We will still have our same crews, we will still have our same trailers, we will still have our same, it's what, Avant Yard, the way they presented themselves. If somebody drove in here and they see Avant, like, just the way they presented themselves, it was attractive looking equipment, everything was kept up. Totally night and day. So yesterday, the acquisition closed. A couple days after that, 3 of the guys from Down to Earth, the Naples manager, there's a Fort Myers manager, and there's, I think the guy that owns this Nature's Bounty or whatever company that is doing it, that was the owner of that, and I think they acquired both companies subsequently, or at the same time. That's the wrong word, I think. Concurrently. There we go. So without continuing on too long, they came in and they said, well, we got a Fort Myers crew that's right here in Fort Myers, a couple miles away, and the other crew's driving all the way from Naples, and we were just thinking maybe we would flip-flop the crews, you know. And I looked at him and I said, I don't think that's going to work for us, you know. The only reason that we're with Avant Yard is because of the people and the quality of the work and the crew that we have. Then the hurricane hit. I came back in after the hurricane, and I was happy to see that they sent somebody, because who knew what condition, where do the guys live, what their houses, I mean, they're people too, who knows, you know? So the fact that we were able to, that they showed up, and I kind of gave them the benefit of the doubt of the hurricane and getting things straightened up, and then we're gonna get back to normal here. But now it's been 6 weeks, and this is not what we're paying for, in my opinion. We're not getting what we're paying for. We're paying for a first-class job, and we're not getting a first-class job. And I can tell you the conversations that I had yesterday have all of them very concerned, because I think that, if we were to decide that they're not doing a good job and we found somebody who could do a better job, that would probably significantly affect the price of whatever the acquisition price, what you buy as the customers. So I spoke with the executive vice president of Florida, whatever, his name's Tom Trombley. He was willing to come in here and even answer questions and this and that. And I said, I don't think we're there yet. I just said, look, even if you're gonna switch crews, you bring the leader from the old crew to teach the new crew. I mean, this is basic business. I said, you own both companies. I mean, but they obviously didn't do that. Tom asked me to give him the opportunity to get it right, and I told him we would do that. So I have a feeling that we're going to be getting a lot better service. You know, I made it clear we don't like a beat up old pickup truck with an orange trailer on the back. That's not what we hired. It's not what we're paying for. Avant Yard used to have a dump truck where they could take all of our brush and debris and things and go. This company doesn't have room in their trailer for that. They're not trimming. They want to have scheduled types of trims. There are different. When I first got the job here, the company that you guys had was like this. Like, we're only going to trim 4 times a year. Period. And that was it. And we're only going to. And that's not what I think it's supposed to be. As far as I'm concerned, and what I relayed to Tom and the rest of their group, is that this is supposed to look pretty much perfect all the time. Like 90%, there's no 100%, but I want 90%. If it's 85 because something's going on, that's okay. But we're not gonna go back in time. And we worked too hard for 10 years to make this place really a shining star, and you see it in equity that you guys have gained in real estate value. So we do have other vendors. In fact, the manager of Avant Yard is now in charge of another big company. So we do have options, and they're aware that we have those options. So I'm inclined to believe that we'll be getting better service, but we'll keep those options in our back pocket no matter what. I hope that covered the landscape issue enough for you guys. Sorry if I talked too long.
Thanks, Eric. And Eric, do you have a report from Scott on our finance treasurer's report?
Yeah, Scott sent in a treasurer's report. And one of the things I'll just read it off. I have asked Eric to print and distribute the balance sheet and income statement for the period ending September 30th. That's the most current we have. And that was available on the way in. If you didn't get a copy, let me know. This is the period, though, up to Hurricane Ian. I think Ian hit somewhere around the 30th of September. So any Ian-related costs are not accounted for in those balances. When we receive the October statement, that will reflect those costs through Halloween. Now, costs from the first through now continue. The budget committee met earlier in the spring, reviewed the operating budget, made suggestions and changes, and ended the meeting with a solid budget, honestly. But we always like to meet again in the fall and go over it one more time. However, unfortunately, due to health issues and hurricanes and scheduling conflicts and everything else, we went with the budget that we worked on at the beginning of the year, and looked at the numbers of what things are actually costing now, like electricity, not things that we could choose to do or not, like electricity, and basically change those to the actual numbers. And that's the only way. So let me read this. The budget committee met earlier this spring. Unfortunately, due to hurricane scheduling conflicts and health issues, we're unable to organize additional meeting in the fall like I usually do every year. The budget has been adjusted to account for additional repairs to the buildings that will likely be needed, but we're not guaranteed any insurance proceeds from this hurricane. Please review your budget. If you have any questions, you can see Eric. If he's unable to answer your question, he can forward it on to me or our accountants, and they will get you an answer. Eric has written up as part of his manager's report a summary of where most of the increase is allocated towards. most of the costs are fixed costs that we have no control over. So, and actually, I didn't read this in my manager's report, I'll continue on. I analyzed the budget pretty closely because I wanted to see where everybody's money's gonna be. And I wrote this one pager here. I sent it out to the board of directors and I'll read it to you guys. So everybody's under tremendous pressure due to the hurricane and basic cost of living inflation. We take into consideration with the budget, every penny counts, and there's a lot of people that every penny counts. And try to run as lean an operation as we can, but staying first class in every way and fully funding our reserves where there's never going to be a problem there. So due to the cost of almost everything increasing, the maintenance fees are going to increase more than they have in the past few years. The end result of this budget is a 12.5% approximately increase across the board. To you guys, that's going to be somewhere between $40 and $50 a month more, most likely, is what it's going to come down to. Now, the expenses that have increased, because that's, to me, if, you know, there's less money in the bank, well, where do we spend it, right? The expenses that are increasing significantly are building repairs. Typical year, we budget $75,000 for building repairs. Due to Hurricane Irma, we increased it to $135,000. Insurance. Insurance is a big problem. It's a big problem. We paid a lot of money for insurance. We should have used that money to fix things up now, but we paid it for insurance because we have to by law. And that's projected to go up before the hurricane. It could even be more, but we went with projected price of $406,000 and that's $73,000 more than last year where we were at. I think it was 330. So we got 60,000 in building repairs, 73,000 in insurance, utilities. We budgeted 545,000 in 2022. Looks like we're going to spend closer to 600,000. So we are budgeting 597,000. That's another difference of $52,000. And then another one that just went, it's not as significant, but the pool chemicals and the pool, the pool, we always have to have our pool perfect. They've almost doubled in cost. So that, we budgeted 7,500 last year and we're going up by 5,000 to 12,500 this year. So overall, the operating budget, overall, every single line item is increasing by $215,000. 190,000 of those dollars belong to those four items. So insurance, utilities, building repair, and pool chemicals. The utilities, we have a 4% automatic increase from Comcast no matter what. That's contractually obligated. They do it. The electric bill, they're charging double the fuel tax on the electric bill, and it's got us way over budget there. So it's hard to believe that we spend that much in utilities, $600,000, but that's where that is. So breaking it out, it's not, your fees are not going up because we're gonna, we're trying to build, the biggest and best and brightest and buy all new stuff. This is stuff we're required to do or we're gonna absolutely need. And building repairs, insurance, utilities, and the chemicals for the pool. So that's where the majority of your increase is going. So I just wanna kind of explain to people, and doesn't help when you write the check, but at least you understand a little better.
Thanks, Eric. Scott? Our next big committee report here is rules. So Ann, could you give them an overview perhaps on the mailing?
As I mentioned last meeting, that we had a meeting and it was poorly attended, but there were about 3 people mainly really interested in it. So we went over all the rules, and I've sent that out to was sent out to all the board members and personally to the 3 people that were most involved, or at least they were notified to get on their email and look at it. So the rules are included in the packet, which I think was in the mailbox today. I didn't go to my mailbox, but some people I think got them today, so anyhow, the new rules, so go over them. Oh, that's not nice.
No, she said she didn't see it, and she helped us put them in the envelope. But she wasn't looking at it at that time.
Okay, anyhow, you all get a copy of the rules, and please look at them. There's so many people, and tell your neighbors, I mean, there's a handful of us here, but everybody should be looking at the rules and paying attention to them. That's all I have to say. Let me say something else.
Thank you, Ann. That was perfect. Bill, how's the lake? Wait, still is full.
Not as full as it was. Okay, due to the recent high water runoff from the hurricane, the water tested at a higher rate than normal in the phosphorus level. The same thing happened after Irma. So what we're going to do is give it another month to test and see if those levels come down. That's what it did the last time. It'll probably take about 3 months to get to where it should be. If after that time, it doesn't level out and the phosphorus and there's another word that they use in there too. If it doesn't, excuse me, if it doesn't clear up, then we'll see about taking additional actions. Excuse me. The phosphorus level will make the water quality, the water clarity change. It'll get a little murkier. The weeds will grow a little faster around the edges of it, and it can affect the fish. The weeds and all, I don't worry about those. I worry about my fish in there more than anything. So we spend a lot of money keeping fish up.
I don't know if he said this to you, but is this something that he was seeing across the board on all the lakes, the phosphorus level
Yeah,
higher? Okay,
yeah.
So it's not unique to us.
And the runoff has to do with what's basically in the yards here and everything else that was blown in from everywhere else. So hopefully we'll get that cleared up. If not, after a 3 month period of time, if it's not down where we want it, we'll have to do something additional to that. You may have noticed that the fountain, I'll get that one there. The fountain lights and the fountain at the north end of the lake, that's up here next to Sailview, is not working right at this time. It's flat, the lights are flashing, and I don't know, it probably comes close to matching these out here we have on the pool. And I think they may try to start turning this into an airport here before long. But the reason that happened is the wind moved, that's the fountain and the lights section, and it's done something to the cable in there. So they're gonna have to come back and move that back and do some repairs on it. So it's just gonna take a little while, but that's not a real high priority item at this time. We've got other things that you all mentioned that is, and that's what we're gonna take care of first. And the seawall repairs will also fall into that. As soon as we can get some contractors free from doing the seawall repairs around all these canals, which is probably gonna take a while. We'll see about getting those repairs done also.
And it's a balancing with some of the outside stuff in relation to the inside, because I know people, when you have an issue in your house, you want that repaired. So we're going to organize it in such a way where we have different crews doing different things.
It's not that we're not going to take care of it. We will. It's just, like I said, it's not going to affect the quality of the water or anything. The seawall's not. And hopefully we won't have another hurricane during that period of time. And work, like I said, is continuing on the bocce ball court, even though it doesn't look like they are. I went and looked at a higher quality of turf. I think what you had mentioned was like $1 and something, $1.18, or probably less than that.
83 cents we have.
Yeah, this here is $3.82 a linear foot. But it's got a 15-year warranty on it, and it's got an inch and 0.13 grass stem on it. So I don't know if that's too tall or not. That's, players would have to let me know on that. Yeah, it's about that tall, basically. I don't know if
A
that's
little bit too high.
that would be too high.
I take that.
Okay.
What? Yes, no.
Yes,
But you can add sand inside that grass, and it takes a lot of that bounce out of the ball that you would have. That's what they recommend to do. So I don't know if something we can look at. But anyway, that would be like $2,500 just for that turf for that at that price. But we'll just have to continue looking.
Eric had something that he showed me.
Yeah, well, I went to Lowe's and they have all different types of turf. The stuff that Barb suggested for 83 cents, and we shouldn't be taking questions from the audience, but the stuff that Barb showed me for 83 cents, it's not gonna hold up. We need to get something a little bit better. I've been doing some research. I haven't had a chance to go carpet shopping, but I did talk to one of our residents who is a retired carpet salesman and has some connections still where he used to work, and explained to him what we needed. He said they would have it, and I know Bob's been doing some research also. So
yes, we're on it. I just received an email this afternoon from Artificial Turf Company that we will work on that, and bottom line is we want a quality material that we're gonna put down and something that's gonna last, not get dented up. Unfortunately, the material that you have isn't really designed to have bocce balls hitting it with concrete in between it, and that's what destroyed the material before. So we need to move on, and we'll cover this more in a little bit.
Okay, just the pickleball court has been back in use now. The bags court, everybody knows what bags is, I guess. I didn't know, but now I know. And I seen they were using those last night. Fountain at the entrance is not working at this time. It's got to be cleaned and filled back with water. But again, that's a low priority item for maintenance people. So we'll get that back just as soon as we can, even though it does dress up the front a little bit. That's all I got.
Thanks, Bill. John, what do we have about safety?
So again, we're going to be talking about those wooden gates down there by Sailview. We are looking for contractors. Very hard to get. I know that's my main concern right now. So again, if you see somebody coming in over that way, just give somebody a call. You can dial 911. You see somebody suspicious out there, you can call any of us, and we get the posse together and go over there. Again, we do still have speeders. If you witness somebody speeding, give me a tag on the car and the color, and if you happen to follow them to where they're parking, that would be even better. Just again, call Eric or come down and make out a report. Yeah, we don't need anybody getting hurt. Please get some type of security cameras inside your house, outside your house, whatever you want to do. You probably need internet, but the more cameras we have, the better chance we have of catching anybody that's out there running around. Please be safe, and it's getting darker earlier. Don't forget, we do walk after we get done playing bags, and after some parties, so,
And we have some light poles down that normally wouldn't be down.
which will be saving us 32 cents
Yeah.
towards the budget. But we are looking into new light bulbs.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And for that fencing on Sylvia, we've been working on it, and it's actually, I told them to do a temporary job. It's turning out better than I thought. But we ran out of materials actually, and so we're waiting on a delivery, and then we'll get back to you.
I also may want to add to that about the bicycles. We came in the other night about 8 o'clock, and here at the 4-way intersection, thought I was gonna run over somebody. Came out there on a bicycle, no lights or nothing on. So if you're riding your bike at the night, you should get some lights on it.
So yes, watch your back. Thanks, John. And Tom, I'm sure the website is just humming along.
Yes, correct. We finally got our programming issues resolved after a number of months. So the website, as far as the directory and getting all of the residents on there, is finally got the computer glitches solved. All of the problems we were having were access related, people trying to get on there. Some people couldn't get on at all. Some of the people weren't recognized or weren't even in the system. A number of the addresses were listed as vacant, and it was all in the transfer of data from our software system, which is run by our accounting firm that keeps the data on all of us for billing purposes. They feed our directory, so forth. And the website guys, syncing those two systems, they had tested it, ran it through a number of times, and then when we launched and had 462 people coming through, it was all over the map. So that's what created the problems. So if you're having problems, they should be resolved now. If there is an issue, it's an individual issue with your login, and we can fix that in-house here. In the meantime, the old website is up, running, has always been. So if you need to look somebody up, use that. The documents are all on there and so forth. That, hopefully that'll be accomplished or completed by the end of the year, so we don't have to deal with it. The one thing I did want to mention tonight is the problem with our directory, and those of you that are on there will pull it up and you only see 27 people on the directory. Well, we've got 208 people who have registered and technically should be on the directory. And what the issue is, you're not on the directory until you give us permission to put your information on there, okay? You've got to check the box that says, yep, put my name and address, put my phone, put my email, and you can hold back part of it or all of it. And if you got this handout that was up front, there's a paragraph right in the middle that tells you how to do that. And I'm going to just run through it real quick. Go to the home page on the residence section, and if you look up in the corner is the upper right-hand corner is your name, and next to it is a big blue circle. If you click on that, that has a drop-down box that has all your personal information, what the website has on record for name, address, and so forth. And one of the drop-downs is a privacy setting. Click on that box, and it'll give you the choice. Do I want just my name and address? Do I want to include my email and my phone number? So if people will do that, it'll get you on the website. We will continue to load all the information on the website, all the documents. The calendar will be working shortly, etc. Please, if you have any problems, just email me, because it's something we can probably fix in-house. Don't call me, email me. My email's on the bottom. I'll get back to you within a day and figure out what the problem is. You don't have to make a big description in there. Just say I'm having trouble logging in, and I'll give you a call and we'll figure out what to do. Any questions?
Yeah,
If you have
what's
questions
What's that
tonight,
address again, please?
pardon me.
What's that address again? The-
Pine Ridge, Fort Myers.com.
FORT.
Yeah, FOR, not FT. Our old one had,
PineRidge.FortMyers.com.
yep, PineRidgeFortMyers.com. I should have put that on this hand. Sorry, I forgot that. So anyway, email me if you have any problems or stop up after the meeting. I'll hang around for a while. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, Tom. Lorraine, would you please come on up and give us a social club meeting update? Come on, here. You can sit next to John.
Sit next to John. Okay, so we're gonna go through the calendar. A lot of things are not up on the board, but I'm hoping by the weekend they will be. Our Thanksgiving potluck, we still have room. If you know of anybody or yourself, you need to sign up, please do that. If you know of anybody that's really a shut-in or whatever, let us know. We'll try to take care of them with a dinner. But I can't do that by myself, so you guys need to talk to your neighbors, and if you find somebody, let me know where they live. We'll make sure they get a meal. The clubhouse will be decorated on the 26th. And on December 2nd, we were going to try to do a tree lighting, and due to numerous difficulties, I think we're going to just include, we will light the tree officially on the 8th when we have our Christmas party, which will be from 6 to 8. You bring a $10 gift to exchange. That can be for a man or a woman. Bring your snacks and your beverage. And we're going to have Patrick Durkin is going to be our MC for the night. It's a fun night. It's a good time. Nice way to kick off the season. And you don't have to sign up or anything. Just show up that night at 6 o'clock. On the 10th of December, we're having the Christmas home walk. There will be a list of the participants up on the board. It'll start at 6 o'clock on the 10th. And that's a really fun evening to go and see the hard work that people have done and the decorating they do in their homes. It's a good time. And the participants actually usually serve some kind of little refreshments. So it's nice. On the 18th will be Christmas caroling and our golf cart parade, starting at 3 o'clock here at the clubhouse.
Is this the first ever golf club parade?
This is the first golf cart parade.
We need people with golf carts.
Yeah, we need people with golf carts. That would be helpful.
You said 3 o'clock?
3 o'clock. So if you're interested in that, there will be a poster put up, but Bonnie Robertson is in charge of that. So if you have questions, you can see her and she can help you. 25th of December, of course, will be the Christmas potluck. It'll be at 12:30 here at the clubhouse. Bring your favorite side or dessert, and we are having ham that will be provided. And then to finish out the New Year's Eve party will be from 8 to 12:30. The band that we are having is called The Starting Line. We've heard them. They're very good. I think it'll be a really fun time. It's going to be $10 a person. We'll do our famous martini tasting like we did last year, which went over very well. Again, bring your own snacks and beverages, $10 a person to pay for the band. And if you know of anybody that might want to come, but they're not here yet, but they'll be here New Year's, let me know, or Jolene, and we'll get them on the list so that they're included, because we will cut it at 80 people. Hopefully we'll have that problem. That's it. We have a very busy month coming up.
We sure do. Sounds like a lot of fun stuff. Thank you, Lorraine.
You are very welcome.
Well, I'd probably be wrong if I didn't include this report that we received late today from Lori, our landscaping chair. Please
She's
hold your
back.
comments till later.
No.
Okay, the landscaping committee met on October 25th with much discussion about the effects of the hurricane on our landscaping and the direction of the landscaping committee. I did not receive this until minutes before the meeting, and I read it while I was sitting here, so it's fresh news to me. And it says we revisited the landscaping committee's mission statement as provided by Eric, and
I don't recall providing, but it may have been on the website.
he wrote it 10 years ago or so. And yes, it's on the website. It's a nice little fuzzy statement. I'm not going to bother reading it too much. And then it goes on to say, we have created 2 evergreen documents to guide the board in selecting replacement plants for our landscaping. As evergreen documents, they will be continuously updated. Documents have been forwarded to Tom Torino for the website committee, and he has agreed to post them on the new website when it's up and running. The evergreen documents, there's 2 of them, and one of them are native plants and the other invasive. I'm sure our common friend Google
Yeah, I was just gonna say. I don't
would
think-
help any of us out there, so I take that with a grain of salt. And then it talks about the benefits of native plants and the harms of invasive plants. And they're working on 2 other documents. Recommended plant list for Pine Ridge, which I believe Eric has that
We
document.
already have it. It was written by Larry, our original landscaper, who really did a good job, yeah.
And recommended standards. Is there anybody here that attended that meeting? All right. We're very grateful to, have anybody and everybody put input into these committee meetings. What we would really hoped for a year ago was to take a look at the overall landscaping and try to improve on what we already had. When I asked for that, I looked around the community and I see plants that, as we say, are ending the end of their life cycle. And they're kind of old, and we need a plan going forward to take care of that type of a situation so that we continuously have a nice surroundings, and everything looks nice, presentable. We didn't really want to reinvent the landscaping or, plow it under or anything. We just want to maintain it and keep it at a certain level. Before the meeting, as all of you know, we have a lot of damage to the trees around here, and we have a long way to go as far as that is concerned. The oak trees didn't fare well. We're lucky we had as much trimmed out of here as we did before the storm, because that extra weight up in those trees surely would have brought more limbs down. So the prevention there really paid off. Anyways, I took a quick trip around here. I looked down Green Cypress, and we have some tree branches down at the end at 3500 Green Cypress that we need to take care of. We need to get that out of there. Alongside the maintenance building, it's kind of out of sight because it's, in the back corner, but you folks on Green Cypress are seeing these busted up trees behind the maintenance building. That needs to be taken care of. As far as old trees, we have 7 trees along Villa Drive that are between the large palm trees that, if you look at those got kind of tore up too. But the trees that I'm talking about are original trees, and they're pretty bad. They need to be taken out of here. We've had trees cut down, so we have tree stumps that we need to deal with now. We lost trees. We need to bring trees in, replace them here and there. There's a pink ribbon around one of the trees on Villa. I'm sure that's probably marked because there's something wrong with it, and it's one of them that's coming down. I asked the landscaping committee to come up with recommendations for the trees behind the Windsor Club Circle concrete signs. There's actually 3 of them. The first one is adjacent to Sailview, where we did some concrete work earlier this year. So the balance of those 2, we had one with nothing behind it, and on the opposite side of the street, those trees are pretty old. So we need to replace those and balance it out. I feel that we have had a lot of things that need attending around here, and then we got hit with the storm. So we're not looking to dig the mulch out every year. That was one of the recommendations that Lori had. Our landscaping is the most expensive bill that we have to deal with, and we don't need to look for ways to increase that. We do pay attention to all the committees and all the recommendations, but some of them wouldn't go in line with your pocketbook. You don't need to change the mulch to a different color. We don't need to have a landscaping crew that uses all electric equipment. We need to straighten up, clean up what we have, and make this place beautiful again. And that's what the board is going to do. And I feel that those decisions revolving around the landscaping, tree replacement and such will be made as a majority of the board, and we'll get that taken care of.
And one thing I would say is once we're established with landscapers that are doing a good job, bringing them in for some input is always a good idea to know what, certain plants are easier to prune and things like that. One thing I did notice also, a lot of the native oaks are where we had the issues, and palm trees, almost all of them were fine. So palm trees on the beach, they're made to kind of go in the wind, I think, and those oaks, I don't think so.
So bottom line is, we know that we have to take care of this. We know we have tree stumps that need to be removed, so on and so forth. I personally have purchased trees. Other people have too. That goes through Eric to get his blessing. If you have a villa and you lost a tree, we have already contacted those owners and asked them what type of tree they would like to see in front of their villa. So you do have input into this, and we do listen.
To touch on the stumps, I know it's kind of unsightly where you see these stumps through the community, and the one tree that, so when the tree company came in, and I know I've said this before, so I made sure we were the first one that they came to, but, they had a list of 40 other ones that needed them. So when they came in, the idea was get anything that is hazardous, that could cause damage to a building or a person, or block access to a street, get all that stuff cut up and cleaned up and out of here, and then the intention is once they're caught up to come back and clear up those stumps.
So basically, in order to speed the things up here, we will be having committee meetings, and I would like to see 3 board members attend those, so that when we have to make decisions, we're on the same page and we can make them rapidly. So, and definitely would like your attendance in those meetings, if you're willing.
Well, may I just see that?
No.
I just,
We're gonna hold the comments till later, because we need to keep this moving. So that's all I have to say about landscaping. And now we have some old business on our agenda. Eric?
The Hurricane Ian cleanup, I think we pretty much have covered a lot of that. One thing that I would remind people to do, if you have Comcast, or if you have additional services, give them a call, tell them you were out for 14 days, and you'll get credit back for that amount of money. I did it for my own house, I got $63. So,
63.
63, yeah, but I have to pay for my own cable, it's not a bulk. But, yeah, I recommend doing that. As far as the cleanup, you know, we're doing a little bit more every day. The landscaping issue is gonna be corrected in short order. And overall, I mean, you drive in here, the place looks good. They mowed the grass yesterday, it looks good. But they also probably knew that I was screaming and yelling at the boss yesterday. But that's where the landscaping is gonna come back, and pretty quick. And then Ian, does the other board have any questions of where we are on the status of certain things with Ian? Do you want to update that? You guys understand where we are with the roofs? We hope to get a report from our insurance adjuster through Heritage, and then whether or not we have to get our own public adjuster or go another route, we won't know. But we're trying our best to move it along. The interior work orders that a lot of you have put in, just want to reiterate, we have them. We're cataloging them and making sure that we have an inventory of what we need, and we're not forgetting about anybody.
Yes, we have some bids on the pool heater, a couple choices, Band-Aid or new. And we're talking $4,000 for the Band-Aid repair. And you know why I'm saying that. It's old equipment. We're gonna replace part of it, and, you know, hope the other parts don't get jealous. That's what happens when I put a new part on my car, something else gets jealous and wants to be replaced too. So, and the cost to just replace it with a new one is $11,700. What's the life expectancy on the new unit?
This one's 12 years old, and then they say 10 to 15 years. They were put in at staggered times. They're the geothermal heaters, and they had electric heaters. And as the electric heaters broke, they would replace it with a geothermal. So this is the oldest one. The subsequent ones are newer. But then I think we had 2 or 3 left. And we finally said, let's just replace them all and have this right system. But this is the oldest unit of the series.
And our temperature's fallen, so we need to keep that water heated up for you, everybody. So do I have a motion to proceed with one of these repairs? Bill, I know you're all about replacing with the new.
Yeah, I don't see
Any reason to,
good money after bad. I mean, like I say, it's gonna go bad again. We've lost $4,000.
and I really don't either. We'll get 10 years, 12 years out of it, so we get our we get the time out of it.
And we maintain them pretty meticulously. We have a service plan where they're checked every 3 months, no matter what, that type of thing. But they're very expensive units.
So the cost of replacement is $11,700. Do I have a motion to continue on with this replacement?
I make a motion, we replace the pool heater that is down at this time with a new unit versus spending $4,000 for the repair.
I'll second that.
All in favor? Aye. Everybody in the crowd wants it. We kind of beat the bocce ball to death at this point.
Next, go on to the next, yeah.
At 5 o'clock, I received a text from a gentleman that I've been discussing artificial turf with. I know that's more money. I get it. But what do we want? Do we want something that's...
Last.
So we want something to last. We want something that resembles an official surface for bocce ball. And that's what we're looking at. These materials have a little bit of firm rubber padding on them. And depending on what your needs are, the length of the grass is different. So they have everything from putting to play yard length. So we're gonna go down that road and see what the pricing is.
I just think that whoever is doing this, we need to consult the people who play bocce ball and make sure that we don't make a decision that is contrary to what they want.
Yep.
But we
Get a
do
sample of what we're looking at.
And that's what we will be doing. I don't play bocce ball, and I'm not gonna pretend that I'm an expert on getting it. We're gonna talk to the bocce ball people, and we'll go from there.
Over the 10 years that I've worked here, we've replaced that bocce ball carpet, I think 3 or 4 times. And it's basically pay me now, pay me later. We could put in the cheap stuff and then basically plan on putting it in every year. I mean, redo it every year, or do it the right way and get the right amount of time out of it.
What the problem is, somebody did repairs on it to try to level out the concrete surface a little bit before the carpet was put down. So we have a mortar material that was tapered anywhere from 3/8 of an inch down to 1/16 of an inch. And then you start throwing a 5-pound ball against it. It was just too much of an impact on it. So we're trying to do the right thing here and give you a good quote. Eric, would you discuss our policies regarding unauthorized rentals, guests, and large dogs?
Yes. So we had a really bad hurricane. It was one of the worst. And we feel terrible for everybody that was displaced and is having a hard time right now. And we, of course, as a community, would do anything we can to help people. However, we have to maintain the community and the integrity of the community. We can't give that up. It's nice to help other people, but you got to feed your own family first, So the idea of having somebody stay with you during the period of the hurricane, because it's your friend or your family member, if they're staying with you and you are there with them they're just staying in a room, they will be a long-term guest, and they have to pay a $50 fee for a background check. They're going to be criminally background checked. We have dogs, large dogs. We have a strict policy of 25-pound dogs, no more than 25 pounds. Like I said, after the hurricane, right after, I think everybody is understanding and okay. But here we are 6 weeks after, we have large dogs, I know that there are a lot of people who live here because they don't like large dogs and they know there aren't going to be any. I also know there are a lot of people who live here who would love to have a large dog and can't. So we can't have people coming in and just bringing, there's one dog per house. That's another rule. So the dog issue, if you're going to stay with somebody and you've got these big dogs, you need to make arrangements for your dogs also. It's separate from here because we're not going to have 100-pound dogs running around here. And there's a reason for it, and everybody knew it coming in, and that's one of the reasons why some people move here, is because there's not big dogs. So those people, I hope they hear this message now, but if they don't, they will hear it. But yeah, dogs, you can make arrangements for someone else to watch the dog, for a dog to report it, for whatever it is. They have all sorts of different arrangements for dogs. The people, we care about people, but we want everybody who's here for an extended period of time criminally background checked. So if you are staying with somebody, you will be a long-term guest. If you have someone staying with you while you're there, they'll be a long-term guest. There's a long-term guest form. You have to sign it. You're responsible for every single thing your guest does. And there's a $50 fee per person for the background check. Now, if they're going to stay there and you are not going to be present, regardless of whether they're paying you rent or it's your roommate from college and you're trying to help them out and just let them stay there. Regardless, that is considered a rental to us. Whether they pay you $0 or $1 million. If you're here for an extended period of time, 3 months or longer, it's considered a rental, and especially if you're staying in the unit without the unit owner. The only people who would have the right to use the unit for up to 30 days without the unit owner there is the unit owner's immediate family. And that means brother, sister, mom, dad, son, daughter. So if there's any questions at the end of the meeting, you can ask them. A long-term guest is someone who's staying with you while you are present. It's not somebody who's staying at your house and just carte blanche. If somebody's going to stay at your house for 6 months or a year while their house is rebuilt, they're going to be a tenant, whether they're paying you or not. So they have to go through the application process. And really, you think about it, in the event of some kind of emergency or, the world, things that have happened in the last few years that I never thought would happen, for us to have as up-to-date, accurate records of at least who's in which unit, if some push comes to shove, is very important. So, it's number one, you guys pay a lot of money to have this criminal background check, so to make sure it's safe. And if we let that go, it's gone. It's just like what I said to the landscapers. If we let it go, it's going to be a lot harder to get it back than it is to
What's the definition of a long-term guest?
30 days.
Thank you.
30 days in a calendar year.
Okay.
So, if they come down for 2 weeks, 5 times a year, they are a long-term guest. We would want them to fill it out. But in the case of the hurricane, I think it's going to be people staying straight through while their houses are fixed or while they're figuring things out. So, if you know of anything going on that shouldn't be, meaning long-term guests that are here that haven't registered, or rentals that are taking place that may or may not have registered, like as friends of the owner type of thing, you can let me know anonymously. I'm not going to say so-and-so told, but all we would ask them to do is fill out the registration form and do the criminal background check. And there's only one reason I can think of why I wouldn't want to do a criminal background check. So, the answer's right there. Yeah, so please follow that, understand it. If you're going to be there without the owner for an extended period of time, you are a renter. You have to fill out the application, go through the application fee and process. And if you're a guest, you're staying with the owner, and you're filling out a long-term guest registration if you're not back at your normal home within 30 days. And as far as the dogs, people with big dogs are gonna have to figure out a way of housing their dogs, but they're not, that's not gonna be something that we provide, okay?
I would say that also in line with the dogs, if there's more than one dog in that residence because you had one and your friend came in with one, that should be, something else should be done with that dog, right?
Yes.
One dog. Okay, one more thing, and I have no idea if this is happening or not, but, children under 18, if it's 18, that's an adult, that's your son or your grandson, that's covered, but what about, are there any children in here?
If there are children in here living here, you know, it needs to be reported to me. As far as I know, no. At one time, we had a man who was very mentally challenged, and he had a caretaker, and the caretaker had a child, but they kept her in the house, and nobody ever knew. I believe there's a renter who does have one, and we've non-renewed their lease, so they're gonna be moving out. But if I don't know about it, I can't step in and do it. But I always say it, one of the reasons you guys pay a lot of money to be here is because you don't want children running around, you know? It's not that we don't like kids, but what I find is people tend to like their own kids and not really like other kids. But you know, we want them to come down spring break, Christmas break, over the summer for a period of time. It always happens where the pool gets a little bit crazy because there's a lot of kids out there, but that's temporary. But no children should be living here, period. If you're under 18, and there's somebody under 18, you know, let the office know, and we're not gonna say so-and-so reported you. We just wanna follow the bylaws and the rules, because that's what we're bound by, our fiduciary duty.
Question, Eric, what about the cars that aren't registered? I mean, I walk around here and there's so many cars that don't have the sticker. And so you're not aware of these cars and who they belong to.
Yeah, I don't know if those are residents or not, because to get into the gate, you want that sticker, I would think. So,
Right, but shouldn't these long-term guests at least register their car? What's the policy? At what point do you have to?
Well, I guess we'll have to look at that, but basically, the long-term guests, usually the owner has a key fob and we'll let the key fob, I've used the key fob there, it's not either. Honestly, the key fobs are the least secure method that we have of access to the community. That's why we try to limit their distribution so much. We actually have a pricing structure on it that penalizes you for buying more, because people would just try to buy them for everybody that they know. And that's the weak spot, because, you know, Johnny down the street, who's a bad guy, if I drop it on the ground and he figures out that he can come over here and do it, you know, we've got a big problem. The stickers on the vehicles are affixed to the vehicles, and we have a lot more control over whether they're gonna work, or we can turn them on, we can turn them off very quickly. Same thing with the fobs, but it's just, you know, the sticker on your window is on your window, and that's why we physically put them on everybody's window. That's why I made that part of it. You have to bring the car, and we put it on, we don't give it to you, because we don't want you to go across the street and give it to somebody else, and that's important. The transponder, yeah, that's why we physically put it on.
The key fob, when it's used, does it show who's used that fob or not? Do we have a way of tracking it?
Yeah, it shows a log of everybody.
So it's registered.
There's all sorts of, no, like the last 10 people that entered through, we can see.
So if you're seeing a lot of people going in and out of these buildings that you've never seen before, you need to contact us, because we know that FEMA is giving money to landlords to put them up in a room. So we need to do a background check on everybody. If you see strange people coming in, please contact the office.
And if you get that gut feeling that they're really not supposed to be here, contact the police. You know, I mean, the best case scenario is that there's no threat and there's nothing wrong. But if something bad were to happen, not like that.
Okay, we've got 2 items under new business tonight. First one real quick, hurricane damage to those dumpster areas. We kind of pieced them back together for the most part. I have not toured to look at all of them. I think there's one that's really tore up somewhere. But what we're doing is going with Ann's wish from about 10 years ago or so, when she wanted to put concrete block dumpster walls up instead of these plastic things. For anybody that's gone around and drove around here, it's amazing the fences that are tore up from the hurricane, and something that you think wouldn't get blown down like a cyclone fence, because there's not that much resistance, those came down too. So concrete block probably lasts 100 years, and then we're done with it. So that's what we're looking into. We'll get some prices together and move forward after that. We will not be replacing all the dumpsters in one quick swipe. We'll probably have to, do them on a rotation basis type thing. And Eric, would you please review our packets that were sent out?
Yeah, just quickly.
Because this is real technical here.
No, this one's not the technical one is coming next time. But real quickly, this is the first notice of the annual meeting. It's going to be held on January 18th, 2023 at 6:30 right here in this room. And that's where the election of officers, or the election of the board and then the officers will take place, as well as any votes or proxy votes to change the declaration, or amend the declaration. Qualifying for the board, that's the part that I want to talk about. On or before December 6th, if you would like to run for the board, you have to deliver either in person, mail, fax, email. If I close the business on December 6th, this is the intent to run for the board of directors form that's in it. And you have to sign that you'll follow your statutes and all the laws. And you get to put a 1-page, when you submit your, there's a slide. When you put your intent to run in, you can, no, it's on me. But when you put your intent to run in, you're also going to want to have, you're allowed to put in a 1-page, 8.5 by 11, black and white resume or profile or reason why you want to be on the board. So you want to start thinking about that also. And that's what really the important things. The other 2 things are the budget, which we talked about pretty extensively. Look it over. If you have questions, I'll answer them. The other is the rules, which Ann talked about. One thing that these rules show is what is being removed is struck through, and what is being added is underlined. So you can see the language before and after. And that's the whole packet. The next packet is going to be the one with all the different envelopes, and we'll go over that one.
They're gonna be a meet the candidates tonight or not?
Yeah, we're gonna have a meet the candidates, and I think we had it tentatively scheduled for January 4th or 5th, depending on the schedule of the clubhouse. And then give about 2 weeks prior to the vote.
That's before they submit the thing to qualify.
No, January. On December 6th, they're gonna submit to qualify.
Oh, okay.
And on January 6th, they're gonna, yeah, about 2 weeks prior to the election, we're gonna have a meet the candidates where the candidates all line up and you guys have a chance to ask them questions. And it's a really nice thing. I think it's gonna be good having this election in January when everybody can be here, because a lot of people have never seen it. We're always doing it right up against Christmas, and so this will be nice.
How many seats are open?
There is four positions that are up for election or re-election. If our guys decide to run again. So that's the packet almost. Yeah, so that's the packet.
Thanks, Eric. Yes, we are looking for individuals that would like to be on the board and contribute some of your life to this community. Don't ever shake your head. It's not that bad. I've enjoyed it. I enjoy helping, looking out for the community, so on and so forth. So I will be running again for what it's worth, and if you don't want to see me up here, you know what to do. Don't vote for me. Vote for somebody else. Run yourself. In all seriousness, it does take commitment. We want to see people that don't have self-interest in mind, and it is good to serve and help, but again, it's not for everybody. It does take a lot of your time.
And it really helps if you're full-time.
Yeah, so yes, like Eric said, there's some spots opening up, and it's no secret, we don't know what's going on with Lori because she purchased a new place, as rumor has it, and I don't think I need to say anything else there. So, I think that's all we have tonight, unless John or Tom.
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Do I have a second?
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, did somebody want to talk?
John was done.
I was just gonna make a recommendation.
Come on up here.
Come on up.
Who are
You know,
you?
there's a
Who
lot
are
of us that come in and out of
Who are
this.
you?
If you don't know me by now, then there's a problem. Car jacks. There are people come in and out of here daily. We spend a fortune mailing all that stuff out. Can't we have them all addressed in the clubhouse a week before you're gonna mail them? So that we could save a little bit more money on postage?
We normally do. This year we had a hurricane, so everything backed us up.
I know last year it was mailed. Mine was already stamped for postage, but I grabbed it out beforehand.
Okay, what we do is we put them at this board meeting
Yep.
where people can pick them up. And they pick them up, and then after the board meeting, they go to my car and they go to the post office.
Cool.
So
But don't stamp them until,
we do not stamp them until they're already picked up. We know about that. But, you know, there's times, there's deadlines, and we have to get that.
I see we have somebody else, Shannon.
Pat Durkin, 4642 Black.
I raised my hand, did you?
Yes. I'm just curious, you talk about background checks, Colonel, what disqualifies you from being here that shows up in your background?
Hopefully nothing, but a felony conviction, narcotic,
Of
violent
certain
crimes,
things, violent crimes,
and I think convicted felon.
bad checks, drunk driving, be okay?
Yeah.
Would it be then up to the board to decide that, or is there kind of like a criteria?
Well,
Shouldn't be here, Patrick.
I know, I got a bunch of friends from Chicago that want to do this. I'm just curious.
yeah, no, if it's a questionable thing, it gets into a touchy area because FHA has a lot of rules of what you're allowed to approve and disapprove people for. So that's when it becomes a little bit more of a legal matter, and we get some advice, and we'll talk to the person, you know. I always use the joke, like, so they robbed a bank, but they're 95 years old, they're probably not doing that anymore, you know, so that's the.
That's not like they robbed the bank.
Yeah. But yeah, we look, fortunately, almost everyone comes back with no problems, and that means we're getting a good quality group of people. Shannon?
Thank you, Patrick.
My understanding was if there was a felony, you were out.
Yeah, well, that's one of them, you can't be a convicted felon.
Is there more? I mean,
I think there's, well, most of those are felonies, I think, but narcotics, violent crimes, those are the types of
Beat your
things
wife.
that we,
Couple of hits.
you know, like if somebody was in trouble for narcotics. We wouldn't want them
So
around a bunch of elderly people that.
unfortunately, if you reach your wife once you move in here, then we can't do
Need the
it.
microphone.
That's the bad
Oh,
part, yeah, that's the bad part.
All right, I question, a couple of things. I love the signs. I love the sign. Can you hear me? Okay. The signs.
Yeah, we want to say
Very
thank you to
nice.
Fred Roy.
And again, I want to thank Fred because he fixed the, swing and, donates his time and that's very nice. I just want to know that I'm aware of an interior dangerous situation because of the hurricane. Is that something that we are getting fixed immediately or are we waiting for the adjuster?
Oh, we want to figure, if there's immediate danger, we want to see it, yeah.
Okay, because I know the person that has mentioned it to me, and I can talk to you about it later, hasn't felt like it's getting addressed. In our contract for the waste, the treasure chest, do we pay in our contract for them to come and get that waste?
No, I think it's just part of it.
But that's what I'm asking, if we're paying for that, and they're deciding not to do it,
We're paying per pickup for the dumpsters, and they come over and they do that once a week. It's like a courtesy.
Like I was saying, all these trucks that do that, if you've got a truck with a claw on it that can pick stuff up on the side of the road, you're out there, as they say,
big
making
money.
big money right now.
I
That's
just
the
wanted to
problem.
know if our contract had it in there and if
The
they.
the contract's actually with Lee County, and we have to use whoever, we don't have a contract with the trash company.
Okay.
So the contract's with Lee County. I don't think getting into it with them for a couple $100 is gonna be worth it in the long run,
No,
when we need something extra done or something like that.
There's debris across the street from me, that hasn't been picked up.
Yes, I noted that this afternoon, along with some other spots.
Yeah, that's part of the landscaping, issue that should be corrected itself.
As far as the website is concerned, you said there's only 27 people that have gone through and said they've authorized, to do that. If I remember correctly, we filled out a form at one point that said that we were authorizing Pine Ridge to use that, because I'm thinking there are people that are going to use the website and want that information on there that are not going to be able to get on the website and put that information on there. So I was just gonna say to Eric, if that was already done and that form was already been given consideration, think about it. I don't need an answer. That's not what I'm here for.
It has to be done on the website.
Okay, but we
A form doesn't.
The form is a consent to receive electronic communications. Yeah, that's just a standard form.
I would just like to see a way around that because I think some of the people here do not have the ability to log on and are not going to, and then therefore they're not going to be on the directory.
But that isn't the case. If you're not on the.
So if you're not on
You're
you're
not
not
in the
on the
directory.
website and you're not gonna use it, then you're not considered part of our community because you're not gonna be on it.
No, you chose not to.
You chose not to use it.
Okay.
Sorry,
I mean, you're part of the community. If you own a unit, you're part of the community. If you choose,
but you have to.
like if you choose to go to the pool or if you don't.
Sorry.
I'm just saying it's just leaving out people that I don't think are fair. I just wanted to make a comment because I'm into the land, I have a.
We can't hear you.
Can't hear you.
I just wanted to make a comment about the landscaping because I have an interest in that. That if you look at the landscaping, especially like if you go out to Sanibel and that kind of an area, the things that are coming back and the things that fared very well during the storm were things that are native to our area. And the things that are native will come back very quickly. That's, so when we think about placing and planting and putting things in, that's one of the reasons why it's important to do native. the last thing I'm gonna say is, I'm sorry, I make a list when we are talking, because I can't say anything during the meeting.
Well, we would love to hear you though.
Oh, you can't hear me?
You're
No.
not, you're saying you're talking that way.
I'm trying to talk into the mic and I can't.
Okay, we need to move on.
Okay.
That's right.
Please.
The last one is, don't they have regulation, like when you do a tennis court, you have regulation, and when you do a bocce ball, there should be
It's different.
regulations? Okay.
Make a motion to close the meeting.
Second it. I think you should blush.
Okay, so I have two questions. First of all, is anyone else in here getting red ants in their car?
No.
Or is it just us that parked by that big hedge on Green Cypress?
That's it.
What do you have in your car?
Nothing. It's not just my car, both our cars, they keep coming in our car. And if you look under the hedge, all you can see is the roots of the tree. There's no dirt, nothing.
Well, they don't park so close to the hedge.
You have to, or you'll get your back end ripped off because the people go in there the way they do. So there's got to be something we can do. That's number one. And my other question is, if we have because we have some rental.
Have you gotten the car washed? Have you gotten the car washed?
No.
Yeah.
Okay, no, I don't know if there's.
No, I mean.
Sometimes somebody falls under the seat.
No. It's just started coming. I mean, and it was before the
There's
hurricane.
supposed to be stuff during it.
So I don't know.
All right.
Okay, what's your
Sure,
number
sure.
two?
Huh?
Put the little ant trap thing.
What's the
At least get rid of.
Anybody else have any comments?
I have one more question.
Hold on.
They're about the meeting?
This has to do with the landscaping.
I have
And
a
we have the guy
concern.
that comes around and.
I'm very allergic to red ants, and if I am driving along and I get stung and bit and don't know it, that's a problem. So it's a landscape issue. Yes, it is, Anne.
It's a pest exterminator issue.
It's an exterminator, a landscape issue, something.
Exterminator.
My other question is, I know we have companies that rent out condos to people, yes?
Yes.
Owners of,
Owners
units
work with
hire
a,
property manager.
right, a property manager. The people that come in from a property manager, are they also background checked?
In fact, these property managers, they follow it almost exactly to it.
Okay.
I mean, I love it when I see certain properties because I know it's gonna.
I just wondered, because we had somebody show up at bingo the other night and I said, welcome, are you new here? He said, I was displaced from the hurricane. I said, are you renting from someone? He said, no, I'm renting from a property manager type place.
Yeah, so he's not gonna know who the owner is because he's gonna pay his rent to him.
I understand that, but that's what I'm saying. Are they background checked also?
Yeah, they're probably double background checked on.
So
it.
you're not told that they're,
What do you mean?
you're not told that they're renting in here, I guess? Or you get a notification from,
No, they go through the same process as everyone else, except instead of them coming in and saying, we're renting, what do we do? They come all filled out, ready to go.
okay, so they bring something
Who
to
knows?
you, is all I was
They
asking.
bring the same thing that everybody has.
Okay,
And they go through the same process. What I will tell you is most of these property management firms, they have their own vetting. So they're vetted before they get to us, but we still do it because we do everything the same.
okay, just wondered.
Okay,
these are waiting
Oh, we
out.
got one right here.
He's been waiting.
Hey, hey.
State your name. Thank you. My name is Lori Shrosky and I.
Louder.
So we can all hear you, there you
My
go.
name is Lori Shrosky.
Louder.
Speak into the mic.
Four
Give her a mic, give her another mic.
Give the mic.
Mike is not working. Mike's not working, Lori.
Come and take this.
There, go there.
We're, against the board.
My name is Lori Shrosky and I live at 4721 Lakeside Club Circle. And since Lori's not here, I just wanna speak for her, so to speak. The Evergreen document that she gave you, Lori's a master gardener and she took classes all summer long. So that is a compilation of her knowledge from all her classes this past summer. And I just wanted to say that she really knows her stuff. The stuff about mulch in there was just stuff that she learned this summer about, colored mulch is full of toxic chemicals and it can kill the plants. So she just wanted to look more long-term. So that's what that was about. And, it was about native plants that do better here in Florida through a hurricane. And we also did do many golf cart tours last March and April, and she did make up a long-term plan about how you were speaking. There was shrubs that looked like they were going, so she did all that also. So I just wanted you to know that, just don't disregard her.
Oh, no,
And-
no, that was,
And
that
just to
wasn't it
read
at all.
that, and there's really good intentions behind it.
Thank you.
Vicky, come on up.
Speak into the mic.
Oh, yeah,
Keith Cranston, 4612 Blackberry. Just wasn't brought up tonight at the meeting, but what's going on with the directory?
We have a proof of one, and we're going to make sure everybody's name's spelled right. That, and then I gotta send it back to them, and then we should.
Okay, thank you.
I have one, if you want to see one, but a couple of the names are wrong, so.
Mine's probably wrong.
Okay,
Can I make a motion to close the meeting?
Yes. Yes.
Can I get a second?
Yes.
meeting adjourned.
Amen.
Thank you, everybody, for coming. Gee.
Nice.